Hello, everybody. There we go. Always good to demute. Now you can hear me. Off to a good start today on this Friday, that is for sure. Hey, as we do every Friday, we like to get everybody up to date on what's going on, just not today, out on the roadways, but this weekend, and of course this weekend or next week. So we have a lot going on. So let's jump right into it. First and foremost, what's coming up for you is the updates that we've been happening, trying to get a link back up between North Carolina and Tennessee. And as we told you earlier this week, TDOT reopening that section of I-26 in Unicoi County. It'll be just one lane in one direction, so you're going to still have backups through there, so keep all of that in mind. Let me start this over real quick because I just hit the record button. Hello everyone, Bo Williams here, the WATE newsroom, getting you up to date on what's going on traffic-wise right now around the area, as well as what's coming up for you this weekend and this coming week. All right, let's jump into it real quick. First of all, we told you about this past week. TDOT, big announcement. They've actually got to one section of I-26 back up and running in Unicoi County. This is, well, usually the detour when we can't drive 40 between Tennessee and North Carolina. Once 126 was also unusable, the detour was 81 to 77 coming into North Carolina, obviously adding on some significant time to that commute. Here's the good news, as we've been reporting. TDOT has reopened at least one side of I-26. You're going to have one lane open in each direction through Unicoi County, so that detour now is back up and running, but it's still going to be slow because you're still going to have some commercial traffic. You'll still have car traffic. If the commercial traffic is over, if the trucks exceed some 12 feet in width, obviously they cannot use that area. They'll still have to use the 81 to 77. So it will take some of the truck traffic off, but you'll still have that one lane both directions through Unicoi County. So things are improving. They are working to try to get that other bridge fixed, and so they can get both sides moving along. So you'll have two lanes in both directions, but right now at least it's one lane, and that is in Unicoi County. A few restrictions, as we mentioned there, but if you're traveling, if it's just you and the family, you can use that now, I-26 in Unicoi County. But again, just know it's still going to be slow. You're still going to hit some delays, so go ahead and just plan on that accordingly. But we do have an article for you. You see it right here on WAT.com. You can read all about it, get up to date on the very latest. All right, several other projects coming up that we do want to talk about. I-275 bridge replacement. That's going to close part of Knoxville Street for a year. So here's what's happening. This is going to be Bernard Avenue, Elm Street between Marion and University Avenue in Knoxville. So just north, barely north of downtown. Crews are going to be working on that 275 overpass. They've got to adjust the clearance through there. And so that's why they're going to have to shut down the streets that run below it. So just be prepared for that. That's going to starting up. They've already got the detours in place. Saw them last night. So watch for those orange signs in that area. But again, this will be going on for about a year. So just kind of get used to that. All right, another project we're watching for you that we've been telling you about. This is road work closing a section at times of North Broadway for a week, and they've already been doing this. It's really the overnight hours from about 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. The area we're talking about is that section of Broadway, say North Broadway. Once you pass Glenwood, heading up toward there's a Kinjo Market. I'll give you a landmark. Okay, it's right there where, you know, if you make, some people will make that real sharp left turn and try to get to Hall of Fame or even to I-40. You can't do that anymore. They're putting in a raised island. They're also adding some crosswalks in there, so that left turn is gone. But they will have those closures again from about 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. At times during those overnight hours. So detours will be in place. Cecil Avenue is going to be one of those areas they're going to try to direct you to try to get around all of this. But this is only going to last just for a little bit longer. But again, be prepared for that if you're going to be traveling through there this weekend and early next week. You will see some delays during the late or the early evening hours into the early morning hours the following day, until they get that island all set up and everything's in place. But again, we're not going to be able to make that left turn, all right? And that's really the big thing that's going to impact everybody, and even impacts us here at WATE, is we can't make that left turn off of North Broadway onto South Hall of Fame if you're trying to get to I-40, all right? So there are other options for you. If you know the area, you know it. If not, you're going to have to investigate and figure out how to access either 40 or Hall of Fame. But that is already in play, so watch out for that. That work has been going on now for several days. Also, Knoxville crews to begin 6-week Woodrow Drive repair project. Granger Avenue intersection at North Broadway closed from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. until November 5th. We just talked about that, but the city is working on a multi-week project to improve Woodrow Drive. This is in the Fountain City neighborhood. We've got an article for you right here that you can pull up on WATE.com to learn more about this project. And we've got all the details for you here. After infrastructure improvements beneath Woodrow Drive were completed earlier this year, work is expected to begin in the final week of October, which is where we are. Well, actually now we're in the early week, first week of November, to be honest with you, November 1st, but it should wrap up by the end of November. So this work's going to last for about a month. But again, it's that Woodrow Drive project in the Fountain City area. So again, be prepared for that. That will cause some delays as well, but that's going to go on for about a month's time. All right. Something else we're watching for you is what's going on right now on this Friday, November 1st. If you are out and about, we do have a few alerts out there on the TDOT SmartWay maps. We'll click on them for you right now. Just some heavy traffic, 40 east in Loudoun County, near mile marker 368. Also right now we're seeing some heavier traffic, 640 eastbound up near the 275 interchange. Many times it's just that right-hand lane. People trying to access 75 north. Also I-40 westbound in Knox County, near exit 386. So this is down near Alcoa Highway, 17th Street, those areas. Nothing really out of the ordinary for this time of day. But we do want to bring in a few cameras. We do like to take a sneak peek. It has been raining, so that could add to some of those delays around the area. We'll bring in, first of all, the cameras. Let's go I-40 out near Level Road right now. Live look for you, and you can see traffic there. It is moving along. That's westbound, going from right to left. So from the top corner here to the bottom corner, that's westbound 40 near Level. It is heavy at this hour. Eastbound traffic, though, looking fine for you at this hour. Let's pop out of this for a moment. We'll shift south for a second. Let's take a look at what's going on Alcoa Highway, just north of McGee-Tyson Airport, near the I-140 interchange. And we're going to talk about this intersection coming up here in a moment. But right now, traffic Alcoa Highway looks good north and southbound. So if you need to get to the airport, maybe you're picking somebody up, again, just be prepared. And also, we should probably note, if you haven't been to the airport in a while, there is construction going on right now. They're kind of in the early phases. They're adding that parking garage. It's a little confusing. The cones are up as far as especially pick up and drop off. Just kind of be prepared and be patient is the best. I had to pick my wife up from the airport the other day, and again, just kind of be prepared for that when you go. It'll be a little confusing at times. You cannot park and wait for someone to come off a plane. You're just going to have to keep basically doing the circle. There really is nowhere for you to pull off, and that's just going to kind of add to it. But if you know what you're to expect when you're going in, you'll be fine. Live look I-40 just west of Strawberry Plains right now. Traffic there looks really good for you. Just some light traffic on I-40 east of downtown. And we do want to check north of Knoxville here for a moment. We'll take a look at the this is the I-75 camera just north of 640. It is a little slow southbound, especially this is traffic here trying to jump off onto 640 westbound. It is a tad slow, but that's pretty typical. But traffic moving through, heading toward 275, you should be okay. All right, let's take a look at some other spots for you here. Some work that's coming up that you need to know about. First of all, coming up on Sunday, November 3rd, and this is going to run through Wednesday the 6th. You're going to have some possible lane closures. These will run from 8:30 at night until 6 the next morning. So again, this is going to only impact you if you are out on the roads, out on the interstate in the evening hours. And again, this is between Watt Road and Cedar Bluff on I-40. But crews are going to be out there. They're going to be doing some roadway surveying activity, so that you will have crews out there. You will have to slow it down, that is for sure. But this could cause some delays for that overnight traffic, so just make note of that. But that starts Sunday night and will run through next Wednesday, November 6th, so the 3rd through the 6th. Just be prepared. So I guess really it'll wrap up 6 a.m. on Thursday morning. So crews are going to be out there handling all of that. Another area we're watching for you is I-140. We showed you the camera. Alcoa Highway looks good right now at I-140. But we have some work coming up between 40 and Alcoa Highway. So really the whole stretch here of I-140. Keep in mind, when you get north of 40, it becomes Pellissippi Parkway, Highway 162. But this is all interstate, I-140, all the way down to Alcoa Highway, and then it switches back to 162. But anyhow, what's coming up for you is you're going to have some shoulder closures in place. This will be nightly between 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. So again, it's just going to be some overnight work that's going on. Crews are performing some roadside construction activities. This is part of a project they've been dealing with, an expansion project. But again, just watch for those crews that are going to be out there. They're going to be doing that overnight work, and again, that starts up, let's see, doesn't give you the date, so just go ahead and plan on it going on as we speak. But again, that's the entire stretch of I-140. As a matter of fact, at night you will encounter, I have seen a few of those lane closures during those overnight hours. So again, just be prepared for that, but that will be going on next week as well. All right, next coming up for us here is we're going to take a look. This is a section. Now, this is one that's going to. This is going to cause some issues. This is going to a stretch of North Shore. This is Highway 332. A lot of people forget that North Shore Drive in West Knoxville is actually a state highway. But between Westland Drive, so really over here near Lakeshore Park, all the way to Morrell, so the Rocky Hill area, pretty good stretch of 332. Starting up on Thursday, this area will be closed overnight. There will be detours. My guess Westland Drive is going to be one of those detours, though it doesn't state that here, but it just kind of makes sense. Crews are going to be shutting that section of North Shore down between 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. the next morning. And again, this starts on Thursday, November 7th. They're going to be doing some utility work. They got to replace some poles in that area. Does not say when this will wrap. I guess when they're done and they get those poles repositioned and in place, then it will be over. But again, it is a long section of North Shore. Again, just be prepared for that. Hopefully, if you live in that area, if you have access to Westland, that's how you're going to go. If you can try to get over toward the Rocky Hill area and come in, some of you don't have that option. I'm sure they will have things set up for you for those neighborhoods so you can get in and out. But just go and be prepared for that. If you can get all your errands done, any running around, what have you, between 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. the next morning until this is done, that would be good. But that starts up on Thursday, November 7th. So be prepared for that section of North Shore. That will be, especially if you're heading out to eat or something one night, you could be impacted by that. And obviously, early morning driving will definitely be impacted as well. And then one other thing I wanted to mention, we're going to go back to this main map here for a second, and I want to bring in an area where we have seen all kinds of delays. They've been working here on I-75, the bridge over the Tennessee River, for a while. We've been showing you some pretty extensive backups on 75 southbound. Here's the good news. I wanted to mention this. This project should have wrapped at about 6 o'clock this morning. So hopefully those delays are behind us. So I just wanted to put your mind at ease there. You should be okay. Doesn't mean the crews may not be back out there at some point, but according to TDOT in this release here, that should have wrapped up this morning at 6 o'clock. So hopefully, again, we won't see any major backups. All right, so that's how things are shaping up for you right now out on the roadways. As always, we would love to hear from you. If you have any questions concerning projects, we're still watching what's going on here. Nothing new really to report as far as I-40 getting in and out of North Carolina. Still in the western North Carolina, I-40 is still listed as closed indefinitely. You can, or locals in that area can use I-40 on the Tennessee side to help them get around. But really the biggest improvement here is I-26. It's not closed except for one side of 26, but the other side is now open. Just to remind you, you do have one lane of traffic open in both directions now on I-26. So if you're trying to get to North Carolina, head up the Tri-Cities, hit 26, come down, you'll come in north of Asheville, and then you can continue on into North Carolina. So a lot better than the long drive all the way up to 77 and down. Really, the only people that need to use that are going to be those commercial trucks that exceed 12 feet in width. So that's how things are standing right now. Again, as always, if you do have a question, let us know. You can always send me an email. We'll try to get it answered for you. We'll see if we can get some response. And if we can, we'll pass it along to you. And obviously, if you see something that you need to have addressed immediately, you can always call 833-T.Fix. That's 833-836-8349. All right, that's going to wrap things up for us. Be safe out on the roadways. There's a lot going on. And again, we'll be back here next Friday to get you up to date on really probably a whole other batch of upcoming construction projects and let you know where some current ongoing projects currently stand. But until then, take care, and we will see you again next week.